everyone, welcome to another episode of Turtle Talk. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 9, Garbageman. This is an interesting episode. This is an episode that I don't think a lot of people pay that much attention to. And I know there was a huge Tumblr post that went around. I never got around to reading the whole thing, but I did read a lot of it. And I couldn't find it after watching this episode, but I'll kind of talk about it a little bit. This is an underappreciated episode. It's often forgotten. In fact, I even kind of forgot that it was a thing until I saw that it came after Fallen Angel, and I was like, oh yeah, that episode exists. So I'm going to summarize this episode like I always do, and then we'll talk about it. This episode starts with some really sweet homeless guys. They're super adorable.
I never break them.
Oh, you break them all the time.
Well, yeah, I guess I do.
And you can tell that they're friends, the way that they talk to each other and act. And within like the first 2 minutes, they're abducted. And then you kind of cut to a big junkyard where some homeless guys are camped out, and you see the guys are there. And the guys are actually good friends with these homeless guys, and it's really cute. It's a really precious kind of relationship they have. One of the homeless guys that they call the professor gives them some things, and then they give them clothes and stuff in return.
An undamaged circuit board for you, sir. A near mint condition comic book for you, my green lad.
We brought some blankets and warm clothes. They're a little worn, but they should help at night.
It's just a really sweet moment. And then you find out that the thing that abducted the homeless guys from the beginning of the episode is called the Garbageman.
They call him the Garbage Man.
And they kind of briefly talk about that, but then the guys leave. And Dawn mentions that if the professor is worried about something, then they should keep an eye out. Which really shows the relationship that they have together, and I really think it's beautiful. So the guys go home, and almost immediately the Garbage Man shows up and abducts the professor and everyone else that's there. Don comes back on the shell cycle with his purple helmet. Doesn't match at all. Doesn't match. And notices that everyone is gone. So he does a little bit of investigating himself, and then he calls his brothers over, and they go out on the town in their trench coats and talk to other homeless people about the abductions.
It's trench coat wearing time!
So after they go around asking all the homeless people, you know, kind of what's been going on, any kind of clue that they might have about what's been going on with this Garbage Man guy, they go back to the lair and they work out a plan to bring the Garbage Man out into the light where they can see him actually. Mikey is used as the bait, as anyone can guess. Of course it's Mikey.
Can somebody explain why it's always me who's the bait?
And the Garbage Man shows up right when they're about to go home, and he tries to take Mikey.
Let's call it a night. Sure thing!
But then the guys come in the battle shell and they save Mikey, and then it's just madness on the docks with these 2 armored trucks. It's insane. Watch it for yourself. I'm not describing what happened. I'm not describing all of that. So the guys stop themselves from going into the water after the oil slick thing, and the garbage truck just goes right off the docks. And the guys cheer as if they've done something great. But the truck just goes and swims to a little island. And they're confused. And it's kind of like, he would have stopped. Why would he just drive into the water? So they're back in the lair, and they find out that the island it was going to is a very profitable landfill. And Leo gets a little too real for a minute.
What could they really be up to out there? They're right in the middle of the city harbor.
If business is as good as Don says, anything they want to.
So they go to investigate the landfill, but not until after Mikey had a little trouble with some action movie lines.
Something stinks on that island, and it ain't the garbage.
And that's just gonna happen throughout the rest of the episode. It kind of adds a little comedic light to the serious undertone of the episode. They go investigate the island, and they find out that the homeless guys that have been abducted are being forced to work.
Get up!
And the garbage man finally comes back out, dumps some more homeless guys, and then reveals himself. And Raph calls Hun lard butt. The garbage man gives this really disgusting speech, and Professor stands up to him.
I'd rather be a free man, living on the streets, than a slave in your stinking empire!
Of course he's punished for it, but it was a really beautiful moment. And the guys go in and kick some butt before too many awful things can happen. And that inspires the rest of the homeless people to stand up and fight against the guards, which is also really awesome.
That's it! Time to take out the trash!
Don helps up the professor, and it's a really sweet moment. But then the guys have to go fight Garbageman. And he really doesn't like insults, which is just more fuel for Mikey's fire.
Smelly boy.
You! Shut up!
If you fight as bad as you smell, we are in trouble.
It's quite the fight with that guy. Mostly because his chair is cheating. Like, that's cheating. You can't, it's cheating. You're cheating. Don tries to sabotage whatever he's writing in, but it doesn't really work out at first. And then he picks up Mikey and is about to throw him off the cliff, but Don saves the day, and the garbage man goes off the cliff. And he falls into whatever water that is. Is it a river or an ocean? Could honestly be either one, probably. It's probably the ocean, though. So the guys go down because, obviously, this is a kid's show. They can't just let a guy die, even though they kind of did that with foot ninjas and the way of invisibility. They go down, and he's just gone. He's gone. Completely gone. Of course he's gone.
He's gone!
The professor and some of the other homeless people vote to stay on the island where there is food and shelter, and Mikey still has trouble with his lines.
Now see? That worked! How do you come up with those?
So this is a really serious episode to be on a kids show. I know I mentioned the Tumblr post earlier. It was a really long post that just went into a lot of detail, and I don't remember a lot of what I read about it because it was a while ago. But if you can find it on Tumblr, then you should definitely share it. But basically this episode says a lot about how the homeless are treated in the cities around the nation, probably around the world. And it's been over a decade since this episode aired, and it's still a lot like that.
Already checked. Nothing on missing homeless. Nobody's noticed. Or cares.
This also says a lot about people that like to capitalize on cheap labor, even though the people that work for cheap labor are really the ones that need the money the most. In most cases. I can't really think of a case where that wouldn't be true. But I didn't realize that until rewatching this, until remembering the Tumblr post, and it's heavy. It's heavy and it's real. I remember watching this episode when I was in middle school, and I was just like, man, this guy's awful. Why is he doing that to these homeless guys? But you get older and you learn a lot more, and you really recognize all of the stuff that they were hinting at that wasn't really just blatantly there, like, hey kids, guess what? It was more just like, hey parents, you know what this is about, you know what this is, older kids, you know what this is, you've been through life. Not life, but more life than a 12-year-old has been through, and it was really interesting to watch it again after having all of that in my mind. So just let me know in the comments what you think about the episode, and yeah, that's about it. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. Okay guys, time for synchronized swimming, but I haven't showered yet, Leo. Too bad.
Our very molecules are being recycled.